What's up, crew? Welcome back to Libertalia Game Supply, and today I have to make a correction. I posted a video a couple of days ago about Tistina. It was fairly negative in nature, but if you've played this deck at all, you could understand my frustration. However, a commenter left a very insightful comment on that video, explaining a few things that I missed, and I did absolutely miss some of the interactions in here. And so I've cleaned up this list a little bit, and I have put together a 3-card OTK that you can do with this deck. So it does exist. I could not find it for a while, and I've spent many hours messing around with this just to try to get it to work. It still is not super efficient. It's still missing something, but I did make something work, and so I'll share it with you right now. Now, it is technically a 3.5 card OTK, because you're going to need something to discard for the Dibella Star summon, but the 3 cards you need are either a copy of the Crystal God or Tainted, the Dark Witch or Wanted, and then a copy of Breath. Now, Breath is the only one that is not interchangeable. I tried it out with the other Tistina spells and it doesn't work because you run into dead ends. But essentially the deck here that you're looking at is built around just performing that OTK. It still functions pretty much the same way as the other deck. The deck does have pretty decent swarm. Like, I think in a simplified game state it actually excels quite well because these guys are able to like reuse themselves over, and you don't really need to normal summon all that much. Plus you get 2 normal summons, so you almost get just like, you can just throw free stuff on the board with some of these lower level guys, which will give you access to Link monsters or the Xyz armor package or anything like that. Now, it was suggested to me to cut the Jet Synchron because the Synchro monsters don't really fit in the deck that well, and they didn't really. I was just trying to find anything that could like speed up how the deck was playing. I chose not to cut it, not because of the Synchro material. I put the 1 Herald in there just because it's pretty easy to end up with this little board, and then if you get stopped, you might as well throw a negate on board and pass turn, hope for the best. But it's in here because it lets you do the OTK, actually. So you would end up summoning it off of the Sinful Spoil stuff, flip it face down to get your search for the Demigod, and then the combo just continues from there, and then it recurs, so it puts itself back on board, which is important because we have access to 2 normal summons that we don't really use apart from for this OTK that I'm going to show you. It gives you tribute fodder, and so that's why I'm playing it, and it works out pretty well actually. I ended up putting Small World in here just because I've tested the level 10 trade-in card, and it really just was not working, because discarding this means you have to try to summon it with this spell, and you don't have that many searches in the combo I'm going to show you. Or you're discarding the Demigod, which can't summon itself out of the graveyard, but it's a free summon level 10 on board with a search in your hand, and so it's just not really worth discarding. So I went with Small World because any of the Tistinas can be Small Worlded into any of the other Tistinas, and there is a little bit of redundancy in here, so you're not really losing out on resources that you really need by doing so. So I felt like 3 Small World fit, and then the 2 Prosperity also, just because I really didn't like that level 10 trade, and it was not working for me. I could see how it would work if you played some other level 10s. So the ones that were recommended in that comment were Jizukiru and the Nimlaria, the new level 10 Nimlaria. They're both interesting. The level 10 Kaiju is kind of self-explanatory. It would be discard fodder for the trade-in thing, or it just removes a problem on the other side of the board. And the Realizer is essentially a free-ish level 10 body on board, but the reason I chose not to play this is just because I don't really have a problem getting the initial level 10 on board. I can get the Demigod on board, or get this to copy something, or summon this and make it a level 10. The problem is mostly getting this on board, and so I had to focus on finding a way to summon this and not really worrying about getting the other level 10 on the board. But that's enough of my explaining. We'll get to this combo here. Let me show you how this works. Okay, so as I mentioned, we need our 1 copy of Breath. We need a way to get the Dibella Star going. We need either the Crystal God or it can be the Tainted, and you would just change a little bit of the order of how you would do the combo. And then just, this is a blank card. Whatever this is, it's getting discarded right away. So we'll start by activating our Wanted. We'll grab Dibella Star. We're then going to go right into that Dibella Star effect. We'll discard our spare card, and then we're going to use that effect to search for the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. We're going to activate that card right away to get our Jet Synchron on the board. Defense mode is fine, and then we can go into our Tistina stuff. So you do have a draw here. We'll use it because you actually will need an additional discard. This is an unshuffled deck, so whatever this is, consider it blank, whatever. We'll activate our Breath. We're going to flip that Jet Synchron face down to get our search. We're going to grab the Demigod. So now Demigod can special summon itself because we have a Tistina on board already. And then it'll get its own search, and we're going to search for the field spell. The field spell is essentially just a foolish burial. Its second effect kind of sucks. Like, why would your opponent pop it if they know you're going to get some plus off of that? We're going to dump the Sentinel. Sentinel in the grave can summon itself, so we'll go ahead and do that, and then we're going to use its effect. So it can pop a Tistina or a face down card you control. So we'll pop our Jet Synchron to get another search. So now what you search here is either going to be the Crystal God if you didn't open it, or the Tainted. So we did not open the Tainted in this example. We'll grab the Tainted. So you now would have one of each of these, and then this is that blank card that you drew. And we'll make use of it right now because we're going to use this Jet Synchron to activate its effect. We're going to discard that extra drawn card to special summon that Jet Synchron, and now you have enough. We have not used a normal summon yet, so we have enough to summon both of these. So we'll use that additional normal summon, get rid of the Demigod. It's a level 10. We're going to use the other original normal summon to make the Crystal God. Then we can overlay for Divinity. Then we can use Divinity's effect. Sending Tainted allows Tainted's effect to activate, so then we can target the Divinity, and now Divinity can attack twice with 4K attack. Now it's important to remember that you have the board wipes on both of these monsters. So the order that this would work is the Crystal God, when it's on the board, would flip everything face down, and anything left up would get sent to the graveyard. And then when this is summoned, it can send everything face down to the graveyard. So it essentially will wipe the entire board, so long as you don't get interrupted, obviously. Then at that point you have an open board, you attack twice with 4K each time, and that is the game. Now it's not like the cleanest combo because it does require a pretty specific set of cards, but the deck does okay with kind of grinding out a little bit. So even if you end up in a worst case scenario and you sit on a Baguska or whatever, you can stall a little bit, that's fine. You also still are playing this Armored Xyz package. It's pretty easy to summon two of these because you can normal summon and special summon the Demigod to then get the dump for the other one off the field spell, and then use its effect to summon itself, and now you have two level 3s. This can copy the effect of the Tistina that it targets on board to special summon itself, so you essentially are playing 6 level 3s there. And so that being the case, it's like almost an entirely independent little interrupt you can play with the full Armored Xyz in the back row. Leave this guy with no materials on board, opponent's turn, flip, make it the full Armored Dark Lancer, equip it with something, and then you steal some stuff. So you have some additional options here. So I got a couple test hands you can take a look at. I got a replay for you to take a look at. They're not the cleanest OTKs, at least in the replay it's not. The test hands are, there's nobody to interrupt you. But it plays through interrupts pretty well, and you can see that in the replay. So check that out. But that's it for me today. Happy deck building. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.